Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Closer Encounters. I am your host Clarence Mitchell, and we're coming to you live from somewhere in Minnesota. Closer Encounters is broadcasting live from Spreaker, and we are always live streaming on Facebook. Come check us out, www.facebook.com/Closer Encounters Radio, and please don't forget to like, follow, and share. .com. For everything Closer Encounters, check out our new webpage at www.closerencounters.space. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Closer Encounters Radio, the show where you, the listener, is also the guest. I had to throw that in there tonight because I got some awesome news. I actually did connect with Skype for this particular platform. As you know, before, when I had the other platform, I had my own number, and people were able to call in and talk to me and this and that. And when I joined this particular platform, I didn't have that option right off the bat. It was there. I just didn't know about it at the time, and I had to figure out how to get it all connected and do whatever. And I did that. So, with that being said, if you have paper and pen handy or your cell phone and would like to punch this number in, it is a Skype number, and the number is 651-800-4784, and that is going to be our new call-in number, and that's what we're going to be using. Now, I haven't used it yet. I don't know if I can take more than one caller at a time. I honestly don't know, but for right now, I do know I can take at least one at a time, so that's better than nothing, right? Okay, cool. All right, we're just getting started here. I see Julie's with us. Hello, Julie. How are you? She says good evening. If you would, whoever is watching us here live on Facebook, please share it, invite your friends, do whatever. I'd like to get a lot of people in tonight, because I got something really interesting that I want to talk to you all about, and I want to share some things with you. I did change the program a little bit. As you know, a couple of nights ago or a couple of days ago, I posted that I was going to be talking about a different subject. And we may still cover it. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how this goes first. But that they gave me. But in the meantime, something else has come up. And to me is very more important. And I'll put that on the back burner for the time being, and I would like to share this new thing that's going on instead. So, but that's not saying, that I'm going to forget about it, because I'm not, obviously. But like I said, this information I have tonight is a lot more valuable than worrying about whether we've been to the moon or not. So, hello, Daly, how are you? Good to see you. I see that I was interrupted there for a few seconds, but we did come back, so that's okay. So the live stream may be a little glitchy tonight. We'll see how it works. The thing is I have like 3 computers running plus a cell phone, to run the stream, and so with that, it kind of takes away a little bit from my internet connection, so it makes things a little bit light, if you know what I'm saying. So we'll see what happens. If I have too much trouble, I'll just shut one of these down, and one of the laptops or something like that. But I like to keep one open to monitor what we're doing and see who comes in and see the chat. And I like to keep another one open so I can use it for references, and if I have like a video that I want to share or something of that nature, I can do that. And of course, my main one is open because that's where I run my radio show from, and everything else. So that's how that works. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of power coming out of this little room here, So pretty crazy. But yeah, good stuff. So let's see here. What we have? We got a couple of people in on the live one. Still here with you. Good deal. But yeah, so if you could share it and let people know, invite them, do whatever needs to be done for me, if you could do that. And Dale says, I'm okay, thank you. Yeah, you're very welcome. But yeah, if you could pass it along, let people know, in Ancient Alien Group, that we're live now. Some people have a hard time finding it when I go live. I don't know why. I don't know where it actually shows up on Facebook. I always get the notification right off to the side, and I just click on it. Some people, I don't know if they have to go into the Closer Encounters page to find it or what, but maybe they're not being notified like they should be. I don't know if I have to change that or something. I'm not sure how that's working. So, but eventually, hopefully, we'll get this all, situated, and we'll know what's going on. So anyway, yeah. Wow, a lot of things have been happening for me personally, and as far as I'm concerned, even though it has to do with me, a lot of this stuff that I'm learning, and a lot of this stuff that has come up lately in my life and different things, I think pertains to a lot of other folks other than just myself. So that's why I wanted to share this, because I think it may help somebody else out there with the same kind of thing that's been going on in my life and whatever. And so I'm hoping to pass this along. But it's pretty awesome stuff. But I'll give you kind of a quick rundown. Yeah, Dale says people must be eating. It's probably the truth. Yeah, 6 o'clock isn't the real good time, but I use it a lot. We used to be on at 6 o'clock all the time, so that's the only reason why I chose it. But I was going to come on last night, and I apologize for people, but between me and a few other podcasters, like with Orion Rising and Watchers, and Jeffrey Boyd, with the Independent Research Society, and Neil Gar, with his Portal to Ascension and stuff, we tried to keep our shows separate from each other. So, and I totally forgot, brain fart, whatever you want to call it, that Orion Rising was on last night, and I did not want to, run a show at the same time that he was running his show because, I like to get everybody to watch everybody else's podcast and to listen in on what they have to say. And it keeps it kind of fair and of course, we all have different opinions and different things and whatever. So, not that we're trying to debunk each other or anything like that. It's just, there is material between everybody, and you take little bits and pieces from one person and another person and whatever, it helps you out, So you gather what you can from everybody and you kind of put it as a whole. So we try to keep our podcast and our radio's broadcasting separate if we can. Now sometimes you may get 2 a night, sometimes you might get 3 nights, sometimes you may get us co-hosting one another and this and that, and this is how it works. So just keep that in mind. But like I said, I do promote everybody else, besides my own show, and I try to keep it on an even keel, so everybody can do their thing, So that's how it works. Tim Collard's in the room. Hello, Tim. How are you, sir? Yeah, Dale says, happy camper. Yes, very good. Tim, I got a new number. If you got a piece of paper and a pencil, I'm going to announce this again. I'll probably announce it a few times during the show. We do have a new show number. It's hooked up through Skype, but you don't need Skype to be able to use it, I guess. As long as you have the number, you can call in. And I'll give you that number here in just a second if you want to, jot it down and or put it in your cell phone or whatever you want to do to save it, for the time being. Like I said before, I don't know if this will take more than one caller at a time, or if I can do like a group session at the time. But what I'm going to do is here during the show, I will pick a time and I will open up that particular line, and we'll see how it works. I'll have people call in if they want to call in, and we'll see if we can get more than one on at a time, or if it's just one or whatever. So this is kind of a test for that system. So we'll see how that works. So, but anyway, I do have the chat room open also on Spreaker, and I'm hoping that we'll get a couple in there maybe. And of course the chat is on live Facebook, which is great, which I think most people probably go to because it's a lot easier, than the other. And Daly says, I wish some Intel people would come on and speak out. I say the same thing all the time, and it's really funny how that works, because some nights, you won't get anybody to interact with you, and then other nights you'll get 50 people. It's really odd how that works. It's just a time thing, spare the moment, whatever. Of course, I do pound the pavement. I try to get people on the show as much as possible, for interactions. Our last guest, Tony Taylor, that was an awesome interview. Great person, very delightful to talk to her. And, and of course, I've been on other shows and stuff like that with other podcasts on the internet. There we go. I see I'm back. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Tim says, okay. Dale says, I'm ready to hear some important things. Cool. Good deal. Okay. Tim, if you want to jot this down, I'll give you the number real quick for anybody that's interested. Our call-in line, of course, is 651-800-4784. That's 651-800-4784. And that is a Skype number. And like I said, I'll be opening that up here shortly, and we can give it a shot. So, alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to let you in on what's been going on here. If anyone has been keeping up with Orion Rising with Leonard O'Neill and myself, I've talked about it and I've posted about it a few times on my webpage and different other things. And we ran across a couple of ladies. Their names are, excuse me, my voice is kind of raspy tonight, is Alona and, Ivana and Alona, let me see if I can pronounce this right, Podoroska, I believe it is. What they do, and they've been around a very long time, which I was not aware of until recently, but we're talking early 90s, give or take. But Ivana, now these are both sisters, Alona and Ivana, they're both sisters. They're out of the Czech Republic. They have a real hard time speaking English. They don't speak English very well. I did try to talk to Alana the other night on Skype, and we were trying to use a translator, and it worked a little bit, but not as good as what we hoped for. It was kind of funny, but we had we got along good. We had a good conversation, but she can message and she can type pretty decent English and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if she's using somebody on the side to help her with that or not. I don't know how it works, but so we do message each other back and forth, and I'm all the time in contact with her, pretty heavy lately, and along with Leonard O'Neill also, and a few others, excuse me, who have been getting their background and everything that they've been into. So I'll give you a quick rundown on what they do. Ivana is basically a medium, and she has been in contact with a EBE, which is actually what an EBE stands for is an electronical biological entity. And he goes by the name of Olie. That's O-L-I-E. And what happens is she'll get into a meditative state, and they use, basically it's a Ouija board, but it's a kind of a homemade type structure. And she uses a shot glass, and it's in a circular formation. This board is that they made, and it's got the letters and the numbers and stuff. And as she is speaking with Olie, or he's speaking with her, she will run this shot glass around the board to the certain letters and whatever, and Alona, she will write down everything on paper, and she writes down everything that's being said. The end of this other computer down here, I think. So give me just a moment. Let me shut this one off so we're not getting interrupted here. And we'll shut this one right off, and we'll see if it stops us from getting, there we go. I'll shut it off and we'll close that one down. Hopefully that will free that up a little bit. Okay, so we're back. Hello, Sharon. How are you, dear? I see you're in now. Okay, so anyway, what I was saying was she writes down everything that Ivana does on the board with the shot glass and everything, and then, of course, at the end of the session, they can go through it and read it and type it out and do whatever, and then they make a PDF file, kind of like a diary, and they will save it, and then they share it with whomever, to get the word out and stuff. Now Olie is, like I said, he's an EBE, which is an electrical biological entity. Uh, he is like 120 centimeters tall, which is about 3.9 feet. And he's supposed to be a small gray, okay? Now others has described him as part of the Zeta or the Zeti clan, whatever, but that's yet to be actually said or, corroborated, or however you want to say. So we're not quite sure, but as far as they're concerned, he's just a short gray, entity. Now, he's not showing up in the physical form, okay? Like I said, this is all done through meditation, trance-like state, and she receives these messages from her, or from him. And they've been doing this since, like I said, the early 90s. Probably 93, I think it was one of their first encounters or whatever. But to tell you how it all came about is kind of ironic. There is another woman by the name of Julia Sellers. Now, if you haven't heard of Julia Sellers, her and her husband, Michael, I believe was his name, Michael Sellers, are very well-known mediums, and they deal a lot with out-of-body experiences, with OBEs. And she's very, very well-known, highly respected. She's worked here in the United States with our government, and along with her husband. Her husband's also, been in and out of the White House a few times, over the years. And these people are, like I said, they're pretty well known. And they know these two ladies, the two sisters, and they became friends with them, and they help them write their books, and, they do some interpretations. They've been studied, they study together, they do all kind of things. So, the cooperation is there, everything is there. Not to mention there's also a couple of astronauts that also know these young ladies. So, and they're very good friends, and they also talk to them a lot and have helped them, with their writings and different other things also. So these women, Alona and Ivana, they're not fakes. Okay, these women, they do what they do, and like I said, they've been doing it a very long time. So anyway, how this all started, apparently back years ago, and I'm saying, in the 90s or whatever, the two sisters had a friend of theirs that was in the hospital for whatever reason, and they wanted to go see their friend that was in the hospital. So as they're in the hospital and they're walking down the hallway going towards the room, of their friend, one of the receptionists hollered at them, said, "Hey, ladies, it's okay if you go see your friend, but you can't take the child with you, that you had. The child's got to stay out, in the corridor or out in the foyer and whatever, And they kind of looked at each other and they're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, we don't have a kid with us, we don't have any children. We're by ourselves, So they kind of scruffed it off and they kept walking. Well, then the receptionist hollered at him a second time. "Hey, you, I'm telling you, you can't bring a child down here. You got to leave your child, in the other room or whatever." And I guess a nurse got involved at the same time and said the same thing. And, so there was two of them there that were kind of hollering at him, "Don't take the kid down there," and whatever. So they made it past all that, I guess, and went down and seen their friend, in the hospital. And they came back later on, and they stopped at the nurse's station, and they asked the woman, the receptionist and the nurse, and they asked him, what made you think that we had a kid with us, because obviously we're by ourselves, whatever. And they both told them that when you walk past the glass, when they were seen, they're in the hallway, and of course they're inside like a glass room or whatever, that they seen this small figure that they thought was maybe a son or a grandson or whoever, was with him. And that's who they were talking about. And obviously, they said, well, obviously, when we stepped out of, and into the hallway, whatever, he wasn't there. So they, kind of shrugged it off or did whatever. But it's really ironic how Ole, and this is who Ole was, showed up without them knowing. They had no idea about this character or whatever at the time. And come to find out that as they walked by the glass, of course, he was seen, by these two other ladies. And so that's when they knew that something strange was going on, because, nothing like that's ever happened again. It's kind of creepy. Yeah, Sharon says creepy cool. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. It's kind of like being followed by a ghost or something, right? I mean, it would freak anybody out, I guess. So, in the meantime, I guess, afterwards or whatever, they got to looking into things and, started their meditations and whatever, and come to find out they could actually make contact with this, entity. And come to find out, his name was Ole, and was giving them all kind of information and different things like that. And Ivana has been sending me, or not Ivana, Ilana, I'm sorry, has been sending me and a few other, friends, like I said, Orion Rising, Leonard O'Neill and a couple others, a bunch of PDF form scripts and stuff of things that Ole has said to them, and different things, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so that's just part of the story that I wanted to share with you to kind of get you up to date on what's going on. Okay, and we will get deeper into this as far as the two girls are concerned, because there's a lot of information there that's got to be brought out and told to people, and I think it's pretty awesome. Now, how I got to deal with the two ladies here back in July, there was a really crazy thing that happened with a couple of crop circles. Actually, 3 crop circles happened within a 2-day span. And one crop circle was in England, over in the Westshire area, like they always are, and it was pretty cool, and I posted about it. It wasn't, a big deal. But then the next day, okay, in the Czech Republic was another crop circle that had formed, and, it kind of made me sit back a little bit, and I'm like, gee whiz, that's 2 crop circles in 2 days. That's kind of cool, So I posted about that one also. And then it was maybe a few hours later, I get a notification that there was a 3rd crop circle made on the same day as the one in the Czech Republic, but it was also in England again, okay? So there was 2 in the English countryside that were made one day apart, and then the one in the Czech Republic, which was made the same day as the one, as the second one in England. 3 crop circles, 2 days, crazy, right? Crazy stuff. So I'm like eating this up. I'm like, wow. Anybody knows me knows I'm a crop circle fanatic, and I just could not believe that here we are with three different crop circles in 2 days' time, and it was just, phenomenal. You just don't hear of this happening. So I was posting about them and making comments and stuff like that. Well, then I get a message stating that the one in the Czech Republic that was made was actually prophesied by these two young ladies, by these two ladies, like 3 or 4 or 5 days in advance, that their last medium that they had with Oli, he told them, look for a crop circle to be formed in the Czech Republic in the next few days, And, they called some people and they told some people about it, whatever, and they said, hey, keep your eyes open. We don't know where in the Czech Republic this is going to happen. We don't know any of that, but we do know that there is supposed to be some type of formation that supposedly will appear on this date, and sure enough, it happened. Well, that just totally blew me away, right? And I'm thinking, wow, well, the first thing you think of is, okay, is this really true? Is it a hoax? What's the deal, So I got to looking into them, the two ladies and stuff like that, and lo and behold, I found out that these ladies are up and up. I mean, they've been around a long time, okay? And so there's nothing hoaxy about them. I mean, it's like, wow, this is legit, So after I started posting about that particular crop circle, Ilona, the one that takes the messages, and writes them down on paper, got a hold of me through Instant Messenger. And she noticed that I had posted about her and her sister and stuff on my webpage and on my Closer Encounters page and stuff like that, and wanted to thank me for that. And, she said, if you would like more information or whatever about Oli and this and that, by all means, we'd be glad to share it with you, So that sparked a new friendship. And, we've been back and forth just about every day for, ever since then. And it's been fantastic. And like I said, I'm not the only one. There, Leonard O'Neill with Orion Rising has a bunch of stuff from him. And, I'm sure other podcasters as well. The only thing is Leonard and myself are like the only two that are actually talking about it at this particular time. And I say at this particular time. There are other radio show hosts. One of them's out of Pennsylvania with KGRA, I believe it was, who knows these women very, very well. We've been with them for many, many years. And, he has them on the show on occasion or whatever with, interpreters and stuff like that. And, different things. And, so they, he talks about their information also. So they're widely known, they're well known, and I'm just glad that right now I'm in the circle with them, and I think it's pretty awesome. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to jump back now to a couple weeks ago, around about the same time when all this was coming down, and I was getting in contact with these people and whatever. I notice a strange occurrence has been happening with me personally. And what's been going on is, it seemed like every night or every day, sometimes twice a day, for whatever reason, I have been haunted and taunted by the numbers 1111. Showing up on my clock, showing up on my computer, showing up, all over the place, pretty crazy stuff. Hello, Kimberly. How are you, dear? Good to see you. So I've been really taunted by this number all of a sudden. It's been popping up, 1111, And for the life of me, I just thought, okay, it's just coincidence, you blow it off, you don't think much about it, But gee whiz, every time I turned around, it was just 1111, 1111. Everything is 1111. And it got to the point where, I started saying to myself, wow, I need to step back and see what this is going on, because, anybody that knows me, knows my story, knows, you know, my life or whatever, there has to be some kind of significance here, okay? And I'm not saying that, you know, as a scoff or whatever. I have to get serious about certain things. And when things like this happen to me, that's when I have to take a step back and say, okay, what's up? You know, this is a sign. I'm supposed to see this for whatever reason. What's going on, you know? So I started checking in on the 1111 and trying to figure out what does 1111 mean, you know, whatever. Well, come to find out, it actually is an enlightening number, and it's telling me that I have messages that are supposed to be coming through, that I'm supposed to be getting new information and all this stuff, okay? So that I had better start paying attention to certain things and whatever. And as I progress, you know, this information will come to me and I will more understand what's going on. Well, wouldn't you know that all of this with these two young ladies, you know, and the video that I was talking about with Julia Sellers and all this stuff have all come to light. And the main message that I'm getting, and this is going to be crazy as hell for you, and this goes way back to my own visitation, my abduction that I talk about, and whatever. Now, many of you know that I talk about it, and my story ends, you know, when I go through the window, and I can't remember a thing after that. So for all these years, excuse me, so for all these years, I've always said that, you know, I've had an abduction or a visitation or whatever, and, you know, we've talked telepathically, you know, we went through all of that just like an actual, you know, abduction cases go, and that I went, you know, through the window, and I came back, and I don't remember anything, you know, once I did that, okay, other than waking up and I'm back in my room again. Well, after watching this particular video on YouTube of Julia Sellers, and it's an actual radio broadcast from KGRA out of Pennsylvania that I just mentioned, and she's explaining the out-of-body experiences that she and her husband have, and their whole research that she's done over the years. So I'm sitting here and I'm listening to this radio broadcast, and I'm listening to her explanations, and lo and behold, her first out-of-body experience, other than the fact that she's up on the ceiling looking down at her body, was pretty much identical to my experience. And when I say is identical, I'm saying, you know, she was well aware of her surroundings. She went through the window of her home. She could hear everything, see everything, smell everything. Her senses were heightened, you know, whatever, all of that. The only things that her and mine differ is, one, I actually seen my entities, okay? There was 3 of them, like I've stated before. And I don't remember anything after going through the window, okay? So my thing, well, all right, let me back up just a minute and tell you what she also says. She says that 80%, now this has been a very studied phenomenon for years and years and years, abduction cases and whatever. And according to her and her husband, that 80% of all abductions, okay, with a NHI, which means non-human intelligence, okay, always have an OBE, an out-of-body experience. 80%, and this is what they're claiming, that 80% of all abductions are out-of-body experience. Okay. So after hearing that, and I'm sitting back and I'm listening and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I'm wondering if mine wasn't an out-of-body experience. You know, that would explain a lot as far as I'm concerned, like going through the window and all this stuff, you know, and whatever. it would make more sense to me, than my physical body actually being taken. Okay, uh, because like I said, I remember, going through the window. I remember, telling them don't break the glass case, da da da, all this stuff and everything else. But I just don't remember what happened beyond that. But I do know that I talked to them. They told me they had things that they wanted to give me, some type of gifts and whatever. Hello, Perry. I see you're in. Thank you for joining. How are you, dear? And so on and so forth. So I'm sitting back and I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, wow, maybe mine was an out-of-body experience, and that would explain a lot. And it also would explain a lot with other people's abductions and different things that claim the same thing, Uh, so it just kind of putting things back into perspective for me. All these years, I've made the claim that I was abducted and I've had the visitation, okay? And which basically, in a roundabout way, I guess you could say is actually true, except that it may not have been my physical body that was taken, And I might even stated that before, but, I never really kind of looked into it until now, obviously, So, yeah, it's kind of changing my outlook on different things. Now, getting back to the young ladies, Alona and Ivana, with their entity Oli and stuff. Now, Oli has been around a very long time, and what I can gather by doing some study work on him and different other things, that they are not the only ones that Oli has ever contacted, which is pretty remarkable. There's been a few other people on down the line, and some of them are kind of known and some of them aren't well known, whatever. But the name Oli seems to pop up frequent. And I'm not saying, all the time or whatever, but I'm saying, over a course of years, his name has been used, several times. And it's pretty crazy stuff. Hello, Lee. How are you, dear? I see she's in. Kimberly says, I have many out-of-body experiences of astral projection. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. I'm going to post this particular video. It is on Alana's YouTube page and stuff, if you'd like to check it out. But I will post that particular video, the YouTube, and like I said, it's just a radio talk. It's not, there's no visual or anything, but it is her being interviewed. And if you listen to that, she breaks it down for all of these out-of-body experiences, her and her husband. Her husband is pretty heavy into it more than she is in a sense, but they've done nothing but research this their entire career, basically, and this is what they are all about. So they're pretty well known, and they know their stuff when it comes to this type of thing. So it's crazy. I can't say I've ever been abducted. Maybe I just don't remember. And and that's very possible. But according to what she's saying is you can do this on your own. You don't need to be abducted, There's many different types of this out-of-body phenomenon that happens. And not only that, but there's also like the near-death experience, which is a separate type of issue altogether. Even though it does contain the OBE, so they break it down, and I wish I could, play you the whole thing. It's like an hour long, the episode, but on the same episode, she also talks about the two young ladies that I'm talking about, and she explains about them and stuff like that also, and it is a very, very interesting show. So I will post that on my Facebook page, in the Closer Encounters page for people to watch. Matter of fact, I'll probably even throw it in the Ancient Alien Theory page just to have it in there. Now, I don't know If there's a copyright thing going on with that particular show, so I got to be careful about like putting it on my webpage or something like that, whatever. So, but I'll try to share it as best I can where I can. And I urge everybody, please, to watch and listen to this, and you'll get a better understanding of where I'm coming from. But after hearing this, and I'm only saying this about myself, it has changed my outlook on a few things, and it's basically woke me up to a few things. And, there's a lot of stuff going on there. She also talks about good and bad stuff, different entities and different things like that, which makes a lot of sense with things that's happened over the years, with government cover-ups and different things like that, which, me, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but you know what? Yeah, it all relates. Everything that's on here and has to say is related, and it's remarkable. It really is. So, I'll break it down to you. Once again, I've been seeing the 1111. Come to find out, it's a wake-up call for me. So, here I am trying to figure out what it is I'm supposed to find out, and all of a sudden I'm getting all this new information about out-of-body experiences, which pertains to myself, in my experience, and it pertains to other people and their experiences and stuff like that. And it's just, in a sense, it's kind of overwhelming to know that after all of these years, I may actually have an answer now for myself, which is pretty remarkable. But, the thing is now is, where do you take it from here? What do you do with it? And that's the next step, I guess, am I going to have to do. But, yeah, it's, what do you say? It's crazy, right? Kimberly says some things happened once at home while I guess at camp, and I know all about it in detail. My mom freaked when she picked me up because I knew everything. Yeah, ain't that something? Yeah, exactly. And here's another kicker to this. Well, actually, I got a couple more kickers I want to tell you. My own father, back in the early 70s, now I tell you about this in my story, if you ever read my story or whatever, or heard me talk about it. My father became an ordained minister back in the early 70s. He himself also had an out-of-body experience. And I never really talked about it much because at that time, or throughout my whole life, basically, we kind of chalked it off as a revelationary type thing between him and his ministry and, whatever. But here's the thing that really kicks me in the teeth about this, which I don't have any, but my own father, with his out-of-body experience, happened before mine, Now, I never really talk about this. Like I said, I've never really mentioned it before. And this happened, probably a year, maybe even 2 years before mine actually happened. So there is a connection here as far as that goes, which brings me back to my, my own deal that I had. And I would have never put those two things together until recently, So there you go. That's just another part of my puzzle, that I can snap together and say, wow, it is kind of in the family kind of thing between my father and myself. I had no idea that it would be a connection kind of thing. I never gave it two thoughts, Why? I don't know, But here you go. Kimberly says meditation, my friend. Kimberly, it's funny you say that, because back in the 80s, before I got married, and after I got married and stuff like that, I was into meditation quite heavily. I did a lot of Tai Chi. I was trying to enlighten myself, and basically I used the meditation now not as trying to do an out-of-body experience or anything like that, basically it was just to get my mind opened up and get rid of the crap that I was going through in life and doing whatever. And it was just it was just my basically an exercise for me to get in touch more to earth and more to whatever without the BS of everyday life. You know what I'm saying? And that's what meditation was for me. That's what I used it for. But now that I know what I know, and I'm dealing, with this particular things now that's going on, I may very well get right back into it again and see what happens, and take my time and, and like Tony Taylor said, on our last interview, there's an ascension going on right now. And, maybe this is the time, and maybe this is, my time. Maybe it's your time. Maybe it's a lot of people's times, But definitely I got the signs, and I got some answers. What do you do with that, And so that's why I did this show tonight. Like I said, I had other plans for the show tonight, but, this to me takes more precedence. It's something a whole lot better than that stuff, So I'll put the other stuff on the back burner for the time being. But yeah. So anyway, I will post that video, and like I said, it's a YouTube video and stuff like that. And if you haven't been to my webpage, just go to www.closerencountersradio.space, and you can see the write-up. If you look at Closer Encounters News, you'll see Ilana's picture there about the crop circle. That was the news line that I posted about her, and I'll be throwing more links about there we go, we're coming back. So yeah, I'm kind of glitchy tonight. I'm in and out, so hopefully that won't last very much longer. But yeah, crazy stuff. Like I said, for my life and whatever, it's all of a sudden I'm getting awoke, having another awakening. And I wanted to share it with people and wanted to let you know that, what's going on here. And hopefully, other people will start checking into it. And, when you start getting messages like this, pay attention, folks. This is something that may change your life forever. It's pretty crazy. So, Sharon's with us. Hello, Linnea. Linnea's with us. Is this an awakening for us who have our early experiences? I believe it is. Yeah, absolutely. It's like Tony Taylor, like I was just mentioning Tony Taylor. She says there's a big ascension going on right now, and to be aware of what's happening around you and, things like that. And we got to believe this stuff. I mean, if it's happening to me, it's got to be happening to other people, no doubt about it. So, that's the main thing. So if you're seeing numbers and you're hearing voices or you're doing whatever, pay attention. It's a sign. It's a calling. And I got to put that out there to people. So obviously there's something going on right now in the present. How long it's going to last, I can't tell you because I don't know these things, but all I do know is it's been projected and it's happening, and I will tell you that much, and I know that it's happening to me. So, mention crop circles in my ears perk up. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Sharon and I both love crop circles. It's pretty cool stuff, but Linnea says our senses are heightened. Yeah, absolutely. And, I have to agree with that. So if you're, doing whatever nonchalantly and the hair starts racing on the back of your head or on your neck or, you get this intuition all of a sudden that, for whatever reason that something's, just not right. Pay attention, pay attention. Uh, what can I say? But like I said, all of a sudden I've been getting overwhelmed. Oh, and the other kicker to this is really ironic. I've had a student on my PC equipment that I run at work, and I have to sit there and watch him as he's running my PC equipment. So I'm out in a pickup truck off the sidelines, and I'm watching him load other trucks with my shovel, okay? And I happen to look up at the radio, and of course, like I said earlier, I get this 1-1, this 11:11 that shows up on the clock, of the pickup truck. And I'm sitting there and I'm beating myself in the head with my hand. I'm like, again, here it is, broad daylight, 11:11 in the afternoon, and here I am seeing this, and I happen to turn and I'm looking at the shovel as he's putting a scoop of dirt into the back of the truck. And guess what my shovel number is? 11. Coincidence? Don't ask me, but it struck me so odd when I seen that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I not put that together? All of this time I've been running this shovel. It's my shovel. I've been running it forever. And I'm in the 11 shovel, and I never put the significance of that number, and it's totally ironic, you know what I'm saying? Not that I believe in coincidences, but I tell you what, that really kind of threw me. I just started laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that, and it was like, just slammed me right in the face. I'm like, why did I not think about this before, So there you go, folks. It's crazy how things happen. It's really funny. Kimberly says, strange energy surges. I feel them through my feet and out the top of my head. LOL. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, and that's another thing that Julia says, is that there are certain people that have higher awareness. They're more sensitive than other people, which I guess Ivana is one of these very sensitive people. That's why she can interact, with Oli and stuff like that. Which is pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, and I am going to get deeper in with Ilana and Ivana, and we're going to do some more shows. I will read some of the manuscripts that she has sent me, and I'll give you some of the background on that stuff as we go along, and pretty interesting things. And Oli basically is giving us messages, how to help ourselves and how to, do certain things, and we need to pay attention to certain things and whatnot, So apparently these are messages that, is meant for the world, and we are part of the message board, so to speak, So there you go. And I feel lucky enough to be in this circle now, and apparently this is why I've been getting the 11:11 messages, and this is something that was meant to be, and so I'm not going to play with it, what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I can to bring it out, so we'll do that. Linnea says, could that have been the time of the evening you had your experience? I often, and that's a very good question, because I knew it was after the 11 o'clock news, because Dad always sat up and watched 11 o'clock news at night, and I knew it had to be before daybreak. So somewhere in that area. That's a very good question. I wish I could answer that with a definite yes, but I cannot. But it is a very strong possibility that 11:11, or 1:11 or something of that nature, very well could have been the time that I had this. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I really don't know. But I'm just saying, it could be a very slight possibility, and it may be one of them branded things that, that you get. So because 111 and 1111 have always been some type of a number for me. A one, any kind of number, 1 or 11 or 1111 or whatever, for some reason throughout my whole life has always been a crazy number, and I don't know why, And well, I'm finding out now what it's all about. So there you go. So yeah, I have to change my perspective on my whole situation, on what's happened to me in the past. I have to change, a lot of different things. So yeah, I'm going to be a whole lot more digging into different other things, and I have to be more aware about what's going on around me. And so that's what I'm doing now. Pretty amazing stuff. So all of this has come out, like I said, in just the past few weeks, and I'm not saying a whole lot to a lot of people about it because I just don't know. But now that I do know, and I finally got some answers here within the last couple of days, and it was just totally amazing. I'm like, wow. Julia says, now I'm wondering if that's the time I experienced a strange occurrence in my childhood. There you go. You say, this is what I was saying earlier in the show. This may very well be something that everybody needs to know about, because this is something that not only for me is one of my biggest pieces of the puzzle, but it may be for you. It may be for your neighbor. It may be for whomever, So that's why I'm on here tonight telling you about this and what's going on, with my ordeal and whatever. And I'm hoping that there are others, with similar or, identical whatever experiences that this has happened to. And maybe this is our wake-up call, And I want to pass this on. And as many people that can grasp a hold of it and run with it, by all means, please do so, And like I said, we're going to be getting into the Oli situation, and, we will be talking about that and their work and different other things too. So Lee says, hello Lee. So we'll be doing that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up the Skype line here, and it is now open. So if anybody would like to call or try to call, now like I said, we haven't used this yet, so I don't know if it's going to work or not, but it would be nice to find out. But the number here again is 651-800-4784. If somebody would like to give me a shout, and hey, we'll see how this works. So Sharon says, do you think our body frequencies is numbers related to these experiences? Not so much the body being a number, or, it's, but, well, I don't know. There has to be a connection to it somehow, because, like I said, I noticed that every time, I'm looking at a clock, or I'm changing a TV channel, or I'm doing something, or changing a radio dial, this number shows up, So, yeah, there is definitely a significance. Now, whether it's connected to me personally, or if it's an all-call number for people, which I'm assuming that's the case, because I know after reading a lot of internet pages and stuff about it, that I'm not the only one that sees these particular numbers, okay? So it's like every set of numbers has a meaning to it, but it's the ones that you get, the ones that are projected to you, is the ones that you got to use. So my numbers for the time being is 1111, all right? Now maybe next week I'll start seeing 3333 or something, or who knows what, you know what I'm saying? But that's what that's all about. So when you start seeing numbers like that, check it out and see what the meaning are behind them. Do an internet search or whatever, and maybe I'll composite some kind of a pamphlet or a book or something, and I'll write down some of the meanings of some of these numbers, and make like a chart or something, And when people start seeing these particular numbers, or a set of numbers, we can look it up and say, yeah, it means this. Go do this or check into it. So that's what that's all about. Okay, so that's the best thing I can tell you is if each set of numbers has a certain meaning to do a certain thing, and whatever. And if you're seeing these particular numbers, then you need to check in on it and see what it is you're supposed to be doing, or whatever. So, but like I said, 1111 is telling me that I have a message, I have a wake up call, I have an enlightenment coming, whatever, new things, new information is being brought to me. And lo and behold, there it was, Hello, Bill McMahon. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Good old friend of mine from way back in the day. Fantastic. So, yeah, that's what's happening. So I got my message. I checked in on it. And lo and behold, I started putting things together. And that's what happened. So, yeah, kind of life-changing, wouldn't you say? A whole lot different. A whole lot different. So, but yeah, if you'd like to call me, talk about it or whatever, like I said, the number is 651-800-4784. Give me a shout. We'd like to see, we'd like to see if it works, and then we'd like to hear what you have to say. What about the asteroid that's supposed to fly near Earth? Oh, that's Lee Stacy. Hello, Lee. What about the asteroid that's supposed to fly near Earth? It's the same one every year, Lee, and I forget the number of it. Actually, I had it wrote down here somewhere. And this thing, it's kind of ironic because people, they always make this doomsday thing about it every single year. Usually in September is when it's supposed to crash and everything else. And but yeah, every year at the same time, it's like the Pleiades meteor shower we just had, where we flew through the belt, so to speak, and we're seeing all these meteors and stuff like that. It happens the same time, usually right around the same date every single year. So this is what they're talking about, is this asteroid, So say the number again. Okay, the number again is 651-800-4784. But yeah, that's what that asteroid is. It's the same one that we see every year that flies by. And it's really, people say, well, it's really close and that. It's actually not that close. I mean, it is, but it isn't. You're still talking thousands of miles away. It's not like it's, it's further out than the moon. It's further out than any of our, basically, most of our planets. So it's really not that close. Ones and zeros are the main computer and communication numbers. That's what Linnea says. Yes, that's true. Absolutely true. The matrix is all ones and zeros. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I cannot. I thought I had that wrote down here because I know I did a thing about it here not too long ago. And I keep all these notes, and it's funny because I can't hardly remember which page they were on. But anyway, yeah, just a short explanation. Yeah, it's the same meteor, or asteroid, or whatever you want to call it. And we see it every year. It's the same one. Just like the comet Halley and all them, Halley's Comet and everything else. You see it every year, same time every year, and pretty cool to watch, pretty cool to look at, but nothing threatening. It's nothing threatening at all, not yet anyway. We've had some near misses in the past, but, they've blew up or fireballed or whatever, and no threat. So, yeah, it's that time of year again. Nibiru will be the next big thing. Everybody will start seeing Nibiru. So, funny stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. Oh, let's see here. Trying to see. Okay. Anybody out there? Yeah, it's open. It's open and running, so let's see if anybody can give us a call here real quick. Alrighty. But yeah, that's what's been happening with me. That was my big wake-up call. And like I said, it's Linnea says, how do you think we got to be the chosen ones? You know, I really don't know how to answer that in a sense, because I don't know what the real significance is for that. You know, why certain people are chosen and why other ones aren't. You know, and it isn't like I went around asking, you know, to have it happen or whatever. Here we go. Okay, it's a 505 number. Hello, caller.
Hi, Clarence.
Hey, it's Lee. How are you?
I'm okay, and you?
Fantastic. So this is working.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Did it just call right through? You didn't have any problem calling through? It just called right through?
It went straight through.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. Wow.
How are you doing?
Great, great. I'm doing really good. How about yourself? How is it down there in the hot Arizona?
I'm glad to hear you're doing okay. And it's actually nice right now. We're having monsoon season, so we get a little bit of rain every day, and it's nice. It's cool right now, not too hot. So I always love it when the monsoons come.
Right. Wow. That's awesome. That is awesome. You know, there was something I was going to ask you about too, and it totally slipped my mind. I was going to write it down, and I forgot about it just in case you were here tonight. Oh my goodness. And it had to do with Gary Davis, you know, who we've had on our show and stuff too. He just posted something. He just posted something else about something that was going on down there. Oh, the dig site. They have a dig site that was going on, and they came up with these parrots, the macaws, and apparently some of the indigenous people or whoever were raising them or were trading them, you know, back and forth, and were collecting these beautiful parrots and whatever. But the bones and stuff of these parrots and different things that they've been digging up are well into the ancient age, if you know what I'm saying. It's really remarkable.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just kind of wonder if you may have heard anything about that or not, you know. But
no, I can't say I have. But that's supposed to be in Arizona somewhere?
Yeah. Yep, it should. I'll have to. Gary posted it himself, so it's on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? But I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can refine that, and I'll send that to you just so you can see it. But it's a pretty amazing story, quite the deal.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all about the macaw parrot and how it wound up being here in the United States long before any Spanish Armada or any of that. You know, way, way, way before that. So it's like really ancient time. It's pretty cool. Yeah. But they were using them for trade. Yeah, pretty interesting. Hey, Leonard O'Neill's in the house. Hello, Leonard. How are you, sir? With Orion Rising? We were just talking about you. Yeah. Cool.
I do know, of course, you know, feathers are very important to Native Americans, and we use them in our ceremonies and in our dances, and of course, in the U.S., the eagle feather is extremely important, but hard to come by.
Right.
I mean, you can't. There's laws pertaining to our eagles, you know, and you have to follow the rules in order to obtain eagle feathers.
Sure.
So I do know. I mean, I have heard of certain types of feathers that are very important, so. Interesting, though. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't know it either until I got to reading that, and I'm like, I wonder if Lee knows about this, So, yeah, it's pretty cool. But
No,
I'll send that to you.
Can't say I've heard of that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
But
For me, my mind's like all over the place. I mean, I've been excuse me, watching a lot of stuff on one of my favorite documentaries is called The Pyramid Code, and I've watched it many times, and they just talk about the ancients and building the pyramids, and of course nobody really knows yet, and
right.
but it's very interesting. It's on Netflix if anybody has Netflix, but they talk about how the correlation of the pyramids to Orion's belt, and they go look at some really ancient civilization sites and talk about that. So it's really, I like I said, I've watched it several times. In fact, I was watching it at night, but I turned it off. But I mean, my mind's just kind of been all over the place about ancient and.
Well, it's funny because all of a sudden, if you notice that all of these channels now, A&E, Discovery, and the History Channel, are all now tying into UFO phenomena in search of extraterrestrial life, on and on and on. So this is getting to be, again, a widely talked about subject, It's not just... it's not just ancient aliens anymore, you know what I'm saying? They had a good run and they were running fine, and now all of a sudden there's more and more programs. So, it's ironic, how this is happening,
I'm not sure if it was on your Ancient Alien group, but someone had posted on there, I can't remember the question to the point, but it was to the effect of if you had encountered, had any kind of encounter, or if you saw anything, it was kind of to that effect, the question. A lot of interesting comments about people, many comments on people that have been abducted or had experiences. One person, and I don't know if I should say this, but one person said they knew a family that, I think that if this is correct, but had worked with NORAD and had many photos of UFOs.
No kidding.
That's
in the Ancient Alien Theory group, right?
Yeah, I think it was either that one or the other Ancient Alien group. There's a couple of them out there, but
yeah, there's one that actually Leonard O'Neill, he owns one of. He made one himself. It's Ancient Alien Worldwide, and
it could have been that one too.
Yeah, and then there's our group, the Ancient Alien Theory group, and and both our groups. I just want to mention that because he's in the house there, and I'm waving at him. Hello, Leo, Ryan Risen. Both of our groups, and this is really ironic, have over 95,000+ members in them. Can you mention that?
Wow.
Yeah, we're both very
awesome.
close to 100,000.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? So that just goes to show you that the interest, it's amazing.
If this person has actual photos, and it's not just a few, it's like, I think there's like hundreds or thousands of photos. I mean, right there to me is just proof,
Absolutely. Yeah, so, how do you take that many photos, and not have any proof? I mean, seriously, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, I don't know. Lately I've been really interested in the topic. I've been finally started reading my Ancient Alien, the companion book.
Cool, you got one.
But you know what? something surprised me in the book. So
Mhm.
when I was reading the book there, and the man who created this show, Ancient Aliens,
Right.
his name is Kevin Burns,
Yes.
and I was reading his forward about in the book,
Right.
and it kind of shocked me. This is from what he said, and I'll tell you if I can find it real quick. So I was reading
In
that.
case
and he
anybody's wondering,
said
this is
that-
the book she's talking about right here. I'll hold it up so everybody can see it.
Yeah. So let me find the.
You can get this on Amazon. It's pretty cool.
So in the first part of it, in its prologue, I can't find it right out, but he was saying, "I only deal in facts,"
Right.
and I'm like, that kind of like hit me in the face.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, well, all 95 of us, probably 95,000 of us, probably believe there's. I mean, where's the facts? You know.
Right.
Oh yeah, he wrote right here in the book on page looks like 4. It's or maybe it's page 10. I can't hardly see. So. But it says right here, it says I deal only in facts. So that kind of shocked me right there because
Right.
I'm like,
Well, yeah, and you know, it's kind of funny how he gets away with saying that because we know that the show itself, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I like the show, I really do, and I've liked it for many, many years, but there are things about that show that really upset me at times because, you know, and you know, I've debunked a few things and, you know, not always
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, it makes you wonder how he gets away with saying that. But that's, you know, maybe he believes everything they say. I don't know. You know. Good question. Good, yeah.
I only deal in facts.
Yeah.
Like really.
Yeah.
That kind of threw me a loop there. So.
That is kind of funny.
But I mean, yeah, it's interesting. I've repurchased Chariot of God, so that's on my list to read.
Cool. Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool book. I mean, I've been through it a couple of times and stuff, and you know, I always find it seems like when I open it back up, I miss something or whatever, and I'm like, gosh, why didn't I catch that the first time around, you know, or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But a lot of information in here. Sharon says a recent California Alien Con, when the board asked everyone who was abducted, experienced, to stand up, 3/4 of the crowd stood up. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And Leonard says, you know, Leo, he says, I've seen UFO and believe I have been abducted. Yeah, absolutely, Leo. You know, and I know you missed the first part of my show tonight or whatever, but I hope you'll go back and listen to the very first part of it where I give the explanation of what happened to me here in the past couple of weeks and stuff. Actually, I sent Leo an instant message. I was trying to get a hold of you earlier today so we could have a little face-to-face conversation about this particular show. It's kind of ironic what's been going on, and you know, I was hoping he could probably give me a few answers on some things. Because Leo, he's really heavy, you know, into the meditation and the shamanists and stuff like that, and you know, he has his experience and his stuff going on there, so you know, he would know a lot about this. And like I said, he also is talking with the ladies, you know, that I mentioned earlier, you know, with Oli and you know, stuff like that. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff been happening. So. I don't know, you know.
Well, I mean, that 3/4 of you know, the group did that. So, you know, if there's that many, then why don't we have disclosure?
Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you about this, Lee, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We don't need it. We don't need it. I don't care if the government comes out and says, you know, aliens are real or whatever. I don't rely on the government to tell me what's real and what's not real. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
And
mean, and I agree with you. I don't need. I know myself. I don't need. But you know, our government is supposed to work for us.
yeah,
They're supposed
yeah,
to work for the people.
yeah, they are.
And they just hide. They hide everything
Sure,
from
they
us.
do.
They
Absolutely.
take things. The Smithsonian hides stuff,
Yep.
and
It's all about
what?
the money. It's all it's about. It's the rich getting richer and the poor staying poorer and doing whatever. And we are the slaves, and we work for them, and
Yeah.
that's their life. That's our life. But that's not what we are about. You know what I'm saying? That's you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to do this to make a living, and we have to do this to survive because unfortunately we can't go off the grid without them putting us in jail. You know, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you know,
They literally got us by the. You know what?
exactly. And I'll be honest with you, Lee.
Yeah.
I'd give anything to be able to live on a reservation like you're doing, or do whatever. You guys got your freedom in a sense where we don't now, if you know what I'm saying. It kind of backfired on the white man, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny. I really do, you know.
And it's just so stifling to me. You know.
Sure.
You can't live off the grid, like you said. If I wanted to or you wanted to, we can't do that. And it's I mean, yes, on my res, I do appreciate what I have, but there's pros and cons to it.
Right.
Right. My res, a lot of poverty, but we don't necessarily have to. May not have that much bureaucracy, but I mean, it's still there. It's still there,
Oh, sure it is.
They try to say, "Oh, you're sovereign," but we're not sovereign. We're not sovereign. We can't even own the land that we have. You can't own land on the reservation. Nobody owns land on the reservation, and our reservation is 17 million acres.
Isn't that something?
And nobody.
It's all
owns
federally
the
owned.
land.
Yeah. Well, in reality, though, nobody owns property. Nobody.
But
Because, and that's the truth.
What I find crazy, Clarence, if I wanted to go outside and start walking across the land, I can't do that. Somebody would probably shoot me.
Yeah. Yeah. Or pick you up for
And
something.
it's so sad.
It's
sad that we can't walk on this planet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it is a sad deal. I mean, you can't fish for free. I mean, you guys can, but I mean, I'm saying as an average person, you can't fish, you can't hunt. There's nothing free. And I'll be honest with you, it's getting to the point. I mean, look at us. We have to pay for water because our water is so polluted. We can't even drink our natural springs anymore, or our water. So now we got to buy water. How long before we have to buy air?
Do you know that has changed so fast?
Yes.
I remember when I was a kid, we went to springs.
Yes.
We grew our own food.
Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
drank milk from a cow.
We did too. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you can't.
My mother canned and canned and canned and we used to cut firewood and we did all of that stuff and basically and
well
yeah.
As a kid, like you said, everything was canned. So most of the food, except for maybe flour and sugar and stuff like that, we grew in cans.
Absolutely.
We canned tomatoes, we canned corn, we canned green beans, and that lasted through the winter. And I mean,
what's sad, and we've talked about this before, and a lot of it is the human race itself. They've gotten into this, I call it a trench or whatever, where they follow the guy in front of them, and they got blinders on, and they don't see what's going on, they don't hear what's going on, and they don't care what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad situation.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's a sad situation that everybody's gotten lazy. They don't want to. I mean, because it would take work to do those things now for people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they don't want to do that. They want everything given to them or
today,
paid for. You know.
We are so dependent on man-made things.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
mean, everything. And then
Absolutely.
man-made, you have 20 or 100 different kinds of whatever it is, you
Mhm.
know? Like cars, you have a bazillion choice of cars, or cereal,
Absolutely.
you have how many choices of cereal, you know?
Yep.
Um,
Well, it's like I said,
but you know what?
yeah, I was just saying, back a few months ago on one of my other shows, I made the comment, if I could find a nice big chunk of land where we could build a commune for people like us to get together and actually live,
Yeah.
I'd do it in a heartbeat, you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
I really would.
I'd be there, Clarence, I tell you. Well, I thought, why doesn't some rich person buy some land and make it like the old days? Have a little town where you.
Well,
still ride a
you know what would
horse,
happen?
you don't need a
You know what would
car.
happen? Waco would happen. That's what would happen.
Yeah.
The FBI would come in and say, "What are you guys doing? You can't live
Yeah.
like this," and they would force you back off your property. That's probably what would happen. I mean, that's
What I find so ridiculous and crazy is, how do we let people starve? All you got to do is plant food; it'll grow.
Mhm.
And here we have people that are living on the street, starving, and why can't we do that?
Yeah.
What? I mean, feed them for free. It
Yeah.
wouldn't take.
Well,
much.
they have soup kitchens.
But yeah,
They got, I mean, they do. Don't get me wrong on this, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I understand exactly what you're saying. There should never be any kind of poverty, especially in our
No.
nation. You know what I'm saying? But
Or starvation.
unfortunately, there is.
starvation.
Yeah.
All you got to do is
Unfortunately, there
put
is.
seed in the ground and let it grow.
Yeah.
I do, even on our res, I do see a lot of homeless,
Mhm.
and
That's fantastic. Good.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just
Good for you.
one of my crazy ideas.
Well, no, hey,
Yeah.
that's if it helps somebody else, that's more power to you. Absolutely. I wish I had those tools that I could do that. I really do.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
It's sad.
I mean,
It's a sad thing. I hate seeing people.
see it, and I can.
You know,
I
and I
complain
feel.
about it, but
Yeah, I feel for people. But there again, I've seen a lot of other things too. And don't get me wrong on this. I'm not saying all homeless people are this way, but I've seen the scammers on the street that look homeless and take your
yeah.
money and they run back to their Cadillac and drive away. And I've seen
Yeah.
alcoholics and drug users and blah 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 blah. I've been down them roads, and whatever. So that stuff
Yeah.
does exist, and I think some of that probably blindsides a lot of other people that would help, but they're afraid to because they don't want to give it to somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's what happens. And but
Yeah.
I have to trust people. I have always trusted people for their word. If they lie to me, they lie to me, and they go drink it up or whatever. More power to them. I made their day happy once again. So that's
Well, and I'm like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Sad,
I'm
but
like
that's
you.
Yeah.
If I can help, I will. If I can't always,
Right.
but if I can, I.
Yeah. Now Sharon mentioned,
But,
she's like the Amish, the Amish in Lancaster, PA. And that's true. The Amish, they kind of live off the grid and they do quite well. But it's a religion.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But it is quite the deal, and they work hard. They really do. They work real hard.
Yeah.
But Philip says we are the
I kind of envy.
that
I
pay to
kind
live
of
in a
envy
free
them
world.
that they live that simplistic life.
Right. Yeah, Philip Hernandez, he's in. He says we are the only species that pay to live in the free world. Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Yeah, and that's the truth.
It is the truth. Yeah, absolutely. You pay.
Well, look at how we're paying for a bottle of water. A dollar, almost
and
getting close to $2 now.
You know what really kicks me in the ass about that whole ordeal? You go to Flint, Michigan, and this is I will never understand this ever. How can you not get water to Flint, Michigan when you got a bottled water company right there bottling water and selling it? I don't understand that.
I don't get it.
Isn't
Yeah, I
that
don't get it.
freaking nuts? I mean, seriously? How does that happen?
Yeah.
How do you have a
Yeah.
bottled water company right there, but yet you cannot give
Yeah.
water to your own people in that town? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like that in my life. Totally uncalled
Yeah.
for.
I
Totally uncalled for.
agree. Well, all the stuff that's going on in the world. I mean, like the fires in Greece.
Oh my gosh, in Canada.
The volcano in
Yes.
Hawaii.
California.
Fires in California.
Yep, Canada.
Um,
7 or 8 different fires up there
Canada.
going. Yeah, crazy.
we didn't even have many fires around here, but the smoke was so bad. I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, for a few days.
Yeah, we were getting smoke here in Minnesota from the Canada fires, and they're way up above Washington. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we're
Yeah.
getting all the smoke and the stuff down here in the central U.S. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
And the lakes and like the water around Florida, that toxic algae stuff, and
Right.
I
right.
heard even Lake Erie's that way. Is that true?
Some of it. Yeah. Parts of it. Yeah. It sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is.
And
But
it's
Lake
just,
Erie supplies a lot of people, too. So, you know.
what are we doing to our planet? It's just.
Well, I think the planet's actually fighting back. That's what I think is happening. You know, we're still coming out of the ice age. That's why the ice caps are melting so rapidly and stuff like that now. Right now, things are getting closer to each other. I think the sun's actually getting hotter. I may be wrong on that, but that's just my opinion. I think there's a lot of variables here. I really do.
This year, the heat was, I mean, it was, to me, this year, it was literally unbearable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just go outside and it feels like your skin's burning.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
mean, literally burning.
Yeah.
I mean, used to, you could go sit outside and, just sit out in the day and you wouldn't be too bothered. But now,
Yeah.
it's like painful.
That's right. I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Mary Jane Jarvis is good. Hello. How are you, dear? Yeah.
It seems so much hotter.
Oh, it is.
So,
yeah, it's crazy.
to me, if it's going to be that hot, that means water's going to evaporate.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yep, absolutely. Well, they did that deal there in California, where the water was evaporating. So they put those black plastic balls in the reservoirs to keep the sun's rays off the water so it's not evaporating so quickly, So they spent millions upon millions of dollars to put black plastic balls in the reservoir, to keep it from dissipating in the air.
I wonder if it works.
It does, but it's,
It's costly. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back, Leo. Yeah, Leo said I had to reboot. His modem went down. But yeah, it's just been, everything has been changing. And like I said, the ascension is happening right now. There's a lot of, you go out and you look at the starry nights, we went out, was checking out the meteor showers here just, a week or so ago. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any really good photos or any good telescopic, whatever. We had storms coming in and stuff like that. But we got to see some awesome meteors that night. It really was a beautiful show for a very short time, but it was lovely. But we got so much things happening out there. You know, and if you're looking at, now I signed up, I joined up with NASA outfit there. They all the time sending me updates on photos and different things that they're catching, like from the ISIS, from the International Space Station, different things like that. So I'm pretty up to date on a lot of that stuff too. And they've been watching that hurricane that's heading towards Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
This thing is huge. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, if that thing ever hit anybody, they never survive. So,
there's a guy there's another website that I kind of watch. I don't know if anybody knows, but I think it's called Mr. MBRBB or something like that.
Right.
And he he actually tracks the weather. He actually tracks the planets. He'll look at the whole planetary system, and he tracks the weather and what's going on the planet.
Is he the same guy?
That.
Is he the same one that does the earthquake stuff too, or is that a different guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
okay.
it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Does that too. And he was showing that there's a typhoon that's out there right now. He said heading toward Japan and South Korea, and he said that the eye of this thing is 70 miles across.
Oh my goodness!
And he said, in tracking typhoons and hurricanes, biggest one ever recorded was only 50 miles across. The eye.
Isn't that something?
This one is 70 miles across. You know, yeah.
Maybe it's bringing back some of that radiational material.
Some strange stuff happening, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It is. Yeah. But like I said, you know, a lot of things are going on, you know, and like I was saying at the beginning of the show, you know, these numbers stuff that's been hitting me lately and different things like that, all of a sudden I'm getting this awakening call, and it's like, okay, why? What is the reason? Is there something else to this? You know, is there, you know, so I got to keep on my toes, and I hope everybody else is keeping on their toes, because something else is happening here, you know. Yeah. And it's just a matter of a short time that we're going to find out. I honestly believe this, you know.
Well, and I agree, it is happening, because what is going to happen to our planet when our polar ice caps melt? What's that going to bring to the human race? You know?
Well, that's a good question. You know, don't know. Are the seasons going to change back? Are they, you know?
It's happening. It's happening. You know, that without a doubt, it's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, what makes me sad is if that does happen, you're going to see like polar bears disappear because they need ice.
Yeah. And
we won't have any more polar bears.
Unless they can evolve and adapt, which I don't know if they can or can't. You know, I don't know if their DNA can change that quickly or whatever. Maybe. Yeah. You know.
Possibly, yeah.
You know, you know, we can just keep our fingers crossed and hope the best, but you know.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. Well, think about it, because you know the ecosystem relies on that quite a bit. You know, when you're talking like seals and penguins and on and on and on, there is so much inhabitable, you know, animals and stuff alone just that inhabits that area. It's just phenomenal. You know. Yeah. And it all has part to do with the ecosystem. And when you start breaking that down, then you got problems. So, yeah, absolutely.
Well, and then these animals have migratory patterns.
Absolutely.
And that's going to change.
Yeah, well, it has changed. It's changed all the time. You know, look at all these whales that have been washing up on beaches and places that they'd never been before. I mean, you know, crazy stuff like that. You know, migrational patterns have changed. Their sonars are all out of whack, you know. Crazy stuff like that, you know. A lot of big changes happening in the animal kingdom. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, and then have you been seeing the thing on how I've been seeing a few videos on it about how animals are changing too.
Absolutely. I just mentioned this a few shows ago. Yes, how they're getting friendlier. They're allowing human contact more and more. They're communicating with humans more and more. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And it's like they're coming to us for help. You know, that's the thing. You know. And how do you help them?
To me, if you see animals, I mean, and this is just me, but animals love humans.
Yes.
They literally love humans. But we treat them so horribly. You know, we treat them horribly.
Some people do.
And if we, you know, like I said, they kind of use like whales that I've seen a lot of videos on how they've gotten, you know, tangled up in the netting, and they come to people for help.
Yep.
You know, people have them get released from the netting, or turtles, or
all kind of stuff.
And they're just, it's just,
Mhm.
it's really strange how animals seem to be, like you said, changing too. It's weird.
Yeah. It makes you wonder. I mean,
Well,
is there something to that, or is it just the fact that they have no other choice but to come to us? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It makes me wonder.
Yeah.
I
don't.
But,
In a way, I think we don't have, or I don't think we realize how intelligent
I
the
agree.
animals are, and the fact that animals, they have feelings.
Yeah, absolutely.
They
And
have feelings.
and what's funny about this whole thing is, like I've stated before, throughout my whole lifetime, I've had this animal magnetism thing that's always been with me, and and it's just ironic how that works. And now, in today's, we saying, these past few years or whatever, people are really starting to notice it more and more with themselves. So, I'm just glad I'd had it my whole life. I feel real fortunate to have that. But, I think it's ironic. But now more and more people are seeing it, and they don't understand it. They're like, how can this be? They're supposed to be wild animals. They're supposed to tear us to shreds. And, they're jumping in their vehicles with them, licking them, and eating their ice cream cones and doing whatever. I mean, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny,
Exactly.
It's funny.
It is. It is. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Absolutely. I agree. So, things are definitely changing.
But
the
But
mindset.
like I said, we've never given animals, we just think we're so above animals that we don't even give them an inkling of credit for their intelligence.
Right. Well, when we find something that's halfway intelligent, what do we do with it? We cage it up, we put it on display, and we, what I'm saying, we torture the poor damn thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. So they're better off not showing us intelligence, to be honest with you, because somebody would go out and try to kill it or do whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's sad, but that's the truth.
And the other thing, I think we don't give the ancients credit for their intelligence.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Heck, they built the pyramids. They built the Colosseum.
Yeah.
They built,
somebody
they
did.
made even back then, they made tools that today we don't understand.
Absolutely. They did surgeries.
We don't.
They did Did you see that one deal where they had the eye tool where they actually could take cataracts off people's eyes? They knew about that back in ancient Egypt times. Yes.
Yeah.
They were actually doing not laser surgery, but they were doing cataract removal with these.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Smart.
we don't give them the credit.
No. Absolutely not. No.
And of course, what did the ancients do? And darn well they saw many aliens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They've had help. They had people there guiding them. I'm sure they did. They had to. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
Well, like the
we're kind of skippy.
Oh. No.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah, you kind of skipped out on us there for a second.
It's a cell phone, so.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about the possibilities there to me, not like we should.
Absolutely.
So I don't know.
No, I totally agree. Well, one thing's for sure is we got things happening right here and now that we really need to start paying more attention to. And like I stated earlier, with these messages, like from Oli and these young ladies and stuff, and even Leonard's been talking about it on his show, and stuff like that. We need to kind of perk up a little bit and start paying more attention, to our surroundings and stuff. And like I said, this number of things that happened to me, these numbers. Normally, I wouldn't pay much attention to stuff like that, but all of a sudden, it's just been bombarding me, and it's like, okay, what is the deal here? It finally struck me that, hey, stupid, you got something here that's trying to tell you something, and isn't it ironic that I, of all people, would have that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, because you think I'd be more aware, right? No.
Yeah.
I am now, but
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So it happens.
That's awesome.
But and I think a lot of it.
Like I said, something's going on, like you said, and I'm like, for me, like I said, lately, my mind is towards that stuff, and I don't know what.
Absolutely.
Why I'm so focused on it right now, so.
Yep, I agree.
But maybe it's happening to a lot of people,
Well, and that's like I'm saying, like somebody was asking me about the different numbers, and stuff like that, and like I stated, it's pretty obvious to me that when you see a particular row of numbers, whether it be ones or twos or threes or fours or whatever they are, that each set of those numbers has a different meaning to them. And if you start seeing the numbers 2 or the numbers 5 or even 7s, or something like that, break it down, look into the, get online, start checking things out and seeing what these numbers are meaning to different people, what the census has to say about it, and take it from there. So that's the thing. But like I said, I've been bombarded with this 11/11 thing for a few weeks, and it's just been kicking my butt until a couple of days ago, and it's like all of a sudden I'm putting it all together, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it changes everything for me now. It's like, okay, so here's your sign. So
interesting.
Interesting. Sharon says, Linda Moulton says cat mutilations are up. Aliens don't take dogs. Probably tons of wolf to snatch up. Blah, blah, blah. Interesting. Cat mutilations. I haven't gotten into that much. Yeah.
Yeah. No, me either. I did watch something with Linda the other day, but I can't remember what it was about.
Yeah, I get notifications.
She was on some kind of.
Yeah, I get her notifications about her being on live, YouTube and stuff. And I used to watch her all the time religiously. But
yeah.
And I don't want to say this to down anybody or to put anybody out or anything like that, but her and her colleagues, and I'm talking people like Giorgio and a few others, whatever, they have their own agenda that they stay with, and they don't usually cross that pathway. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's cattle mutilations or whatever, they pretty much stay into that type of research mohive. Where what I'm into now is more of a spiritual thing, more into the enlightening, the mindset, the whole ordeal. You know what I'm saying? So, it all works together. It's in the same grouping. It's in the same box, but, different packages, I guess is how you want to put it. So, Well, like I said, there's been more and more shows on TV coming up. People all of a sudden are starting to watch more and more programming. So, I'm not going to rely on the government to come out and say, we're going to disclose this and disclose that. As a matter of fact, if they did, I'd be awful worried about what the back door is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Why are they doing
that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Something else is going on. So I'd be very, very careful with that. I really would. But that's just me. That's, because we know what they've done in the past. So,
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, that's just it. And, like I said, a lot of people, there's a lot of conspiracies out there. My gosh, there's so much of it. It's so hard to wade through it, So you got to follow what you know and what you proceed to know, you know what I'm saying, and how you feel.
Yeah, true, exactly. But if you look, okay, so look at our entertainment. Look at our movies,
Hmm.
and you'll see. I mean, like just like with Star Trek,
Sure.
a lot of that technology we're using today.
Absolutely.
Where back in that day, we would never have
No.
imagined it
Nope.
ever. You
Nope.
know,
But what were we
and so
doing?
even today,
But what were we doing back then? Do you remember? What were we doing back in the
no.
days
Oh
of
well.
Star Trek? We were sending men to the moon.
Uh,
We were making
yeah,
rocketry.
yeah,
We were going
yeah,
beyond where no man's gone before.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So what I think, I mean, just like I think I sent you a little email on that, and you see, like even on Star Trek, the show, the original,
Hmm.
how there were different races, different peoples,
Absolutely.
and to me, that's what our universe is. It's
Yep.
totally full of life that because our planet is so tiny
Hmm.
and we can't even get to our moon. All right, that's what I believe. I mean, we barely got to our moon, and we can't get beyond our moon.
Right.
And so, way out there, there's probably so much life that we don't,
Oh, absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And there's good ones, and then there's gonna be bad ones, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly. Well,
I personally think our planet is so small that we're not that much of a, you know.
yeah. Sharon
I
says
mean,
the grays are not so scary. It's the manatees, the mantis plus other kind out there. Yeah. Exactly.
well, and I
Yeah.
agree with her because, I mean, again, look at our movies.
Yeah.
All of our movies aren't about nice
Well,
aliens.
well,
like
you know, and
the
that's
movie
just
Alien.
it. That's, look what they did with Fire in the Sky, with
Yeah.
and stuff. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? They took,
It was just an entertainment.
exactly,
entertainment.
exactly. And what did he say about it? He said everything they said in that movie was BS, right? Didn't he say that?
Yeah.
You know?
He did. He has a totally different story about what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he wants to make a second movie, but they won't do it. You know, I think it's funny. You know, they will
I
not.
believe his story.
I do
believe what he
too.
said,
Absolutely, absolutely. I believe him 100%.
But like I said, I don't believe that everything in the universe is going to be friendly. You know, so.
Well, no, I'm not saying that either. No,
Yeah.
and it's a scary thought because and that's a good scenario. Now we were just talking about Fire in the Sky with oh, I just got his name on my tongue there. With Travis Walton, and his experience when he was abducted was a full body abduction, taken aboard a craft and whatever, and he had some scary entities that he had to deal with. See,
in his story, the entities that he encountered were actually, some of the entities he saw were actually humanoid.
Right. Yes.
He encountered a female and he encountered a male. Mm-hmm. He said the male looked like he was in some type of astronaut suit.
Right. Right.
And he said that they had no emotion. No emotion whatsoever. They were just like
kind of
bored and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a robot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe a clone. Who knows? Maybe it was a clone.
Maybe more AI than anything, artificial intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One of the parts of his story that really fascinated me, though, is when he said when they were guiding him out of the particular ship he was in, he said they come down this ramp, and he said as far as you could see, he said there was ships in this like huge hangar type thing.
Ain't that something?
And he said you could, isn't that crazy? He was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And
just think they released all them on us, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine seeing them all in one place? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. and people always say, "Oh, the government doesn't want to disclose because people's going to go crazy." They might if that happened. I think.
Well, yeah, look what happened back with War of the Worlds, back when what's his name did that over the radio, of all things.
Oh yeah.
And people got killed over that ordeal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But there again, that was a different time, a different era. But I believe people in today's society, and I've said this before, I've gone out and asked people straight out, do you believe in another life, than ours? And I'm getting a better response now than I did 10 years ago,
I mean, I believe too, but I think, say, look up in the sky and you saw hundreds of ships, we would be shocked.
Oh, I'd be digging a hole in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Honestly, you don't know what's happening.
We all believe, but if we looked into the sky and saw our skies covered with ships, we would be.
You'd definitely be frightened. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Would you be suicidal over it or not? Or would you, you know what I'm saying? That's something that, you'd have to deal with at the time.
Well,
but
like you said, you never. Are they going to be hostile? Are they going to be friendly? You don't know.
You don't know.
Are they going to want to eat it for lunch?
But you know what? And here's the thing, and this is the way I look at it right now. Because of all the abductions and because of all the visitations and all the other things that have happened in this world, in the sightings and whatever. Honestly, I think if they were going to be that hostile, it'd have been done already. Now, that's not saying that it hasn't happened in the past, because we know that there was wars here. We know that there was places destroyed, and blah, blah, blah. But, you know what I'm saying?
Like you said, if you read like the Hindu, I think it's the Hindu or the...
Mahabharata.
What is it called? Where they had wars in space,
Yes. Yep.
And those were written a long time ago.
Yeah, they were eyewitnessed and actually documented. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, Sharon said Space Force.
Goes back to what I say. I mean, yes, the possibility that encounters are going to be friendly, but I know people like some of the people on the show that who talk about the friendly ones and the good ones, but it's just me. I know that not every encounter is going to be good, and that's where we have to be on our toes.
Well, absolutely, and and you know what though, the way you have to kind of look at that is, it's just like driving to a city. Right here in the United States or anything, you're going to have good people on the shoulder of the road, and you're going to have bad people on the shoulder of the road. So, I mean, it's just,
Exactly.
That's the whole thing.
Exactly.
So you can't scare yourself or keep yourself in the scare zone. And that's the thing I got to tell people is keep an open mind. I mean, it is, and it sounds frightening, and it is kind of frightening, but until it happens, Yeah, what do you say?
Yeah.
So,
and who knows? Maybe we've been, blessed that we're kind of overlooked, possibly.
Well, that's
maybe
very possible.
That's
very possible.
Maybe we don't want what's coming from outer space.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's very possible. And that was another thing too that and it's been said many times in the past that the human race was actually produced as a subspecies of the alien ET, whatever, to get away from the other bad stuff, and whatever. Unfortunately, our marker isn't right, and
the Assyrian
something like I believe it was. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So. But who knows for sure?
And I posted this the other day, and I heard this somewhere, is how life was possibly seeded by asteroids.
Right.
Well,
that's just it. Yeah. I don't know. Good question.
Um,
It's been brought up.
well,
Richard.
there's so many mysteries that we won't ever know all the
Yeah.
mysteries. So
Richard.
it's so
Richard.
interesting to contemplate. You know.
Richard asking. He says,
Oh.
"Why are they doing a space force out of nowhere?"
Really? Now that is
Yeah.
a really good question.
Well, you know,
That's-
it's ironic because really nobody really knows what he really means by space force. You know what I'm saying? People are speculating it's going to be an army, and other people, it's just nobody. And it's his wording.
don't
That's
know.
the thing. You don't know.
what is
Yeah,
Space Force
don't
mean?
speculate on that yet because we don't even know what space force is supposed to mean. I mean, seriously.
Do we have spaceships already? Do we,
Yeah, right.
How are we going to fly in space
Exactly.
if we don't have a
Yeah.
spaceship?
Yeah, it's been speculated a couple different ways. It's supposed to be asteroid busting kind of project. It's supposed to be a military project to keep bad aliens from coming after us, which I think is kind of far fetched. But I mean, and then you got the ones that claim that there's bases on the moon, and this is part of that, and so on and so forth. So maybe. Maybe that's part of the disclosure part. I don't know, but we don't know. No one's come out and actually said what Space Force, what the definition of Space Force is supposed to be.
Wouldn't that be funny if it was Trump that disclosed?
Hey, why not? He's doing good so far, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he might.
he might. He very well could. And so who knows? But. A lot of people don't like him. I'm not going to get into this real political thing, but a lot of people don't like him, and a lot of people do. And so far, I really don't have much of an opinion. He's done everything he said he's supposed to do, and so far he's done it. So I can't really say anything. But I don't know. Time will tell.
I'm from the opposition.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, you'll have that. Yeah, you'll have it.
Yeah, I'm the opposition.
But yeah.
It's politics and religion. You don't want to go that way because
Right.
it's just too many people get offended, and
Exactly. Now Julie says she heard that it was a satellite security thing, which very well could be. Like I said, so far we haven't got the true definition of it. Yeah, that's what's crazy about it.
If the satellites were hit by maybe another country or whatnot, we would go crazy without our cell phones.
Oh yeah.
I think hardly anybody has landlines today. So Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We all live with our cell phones. So yeah.
You're welcome, Sharon. Thank you. Yeah. Sharon says, good show. Gotta take the dog out. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. It's kind of funny.
So, Clarence, have you seen some of those pictures that show, like, holes in part of the Antarctica? And
yeah, and you know what? And here's the thing that bothers me about pictures all of a sudden. I mean, seriously, especially this many, is the fact that we have been flooded and flooded and flooded with video and picture and and all of the CGI work and the you know what I'm saying, the Photoshops and the this and that and whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's hard to believe stuff today.
It is. It is. It's really tough and it's hard to believe. So without nitpicking through the whole pile, you know what I'm saying? And I just look at it, and if I find something that's really, truly interested, I'll stick with it for a while and I'll check it out, do whatever I can. But so far, I just haven't had that one that says, bang, here it is. You know what I mean? So, you know. But... Hey, my mom's in there. Hi, Mom. How you doing? My mom showed up. Nice to see her. Yeah.
Hi.
Cool. She's in the live room. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. People speculate that there's underground bases that are going to be revealed, and this and that and whatever. And this goes all the way back to the Admiral Boyd situation where, he supposedly went underground and this and that, which, you know, there's a lot to that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
some of it's not true, but people don't know that, and some of it is true, and people don't know that either. So, yeah, a lot of things, even from the past get so out of whack, it's just unbelievable, and people run with it, and it's funny,
Yeah.
But, hey.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
Definitely.
and then trying to deal with what's happening now in today's thing, and whatever is so tough to keep up with, and there's
really
so much
is,
going
yeah.
on. There is so much going on. But
Yeah.
I definitely had to tell people about my ordeal in the past few days, and with the numbers game and with all this information I've been getting from other people and different things like that, and just this whole enlightening thing going on. And like I said, it made me change my outlook a little bit on my past and, what's going on in the future and stuff, and kind of connecting the dots. So I got another good couple puzzle pieces, put back into my puzzle. So, which
Yeah.
works for me. I mean,
That's
it's cool,
That's
and I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. So
Yeah.
it very well gave me a
Mhm.
few more answers. But
And maybe more and more, that's how they can are becoming more aware, I guess,
well, exactly, and I hope it keeps going that way. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to find out. Hopefully between Leonard and myself, a couple other podcasters and whatever, going down these rabbit holes, and we'll get there, one step at a time. But we'll figure these things out, and
Yeah. I'm excited about the mission to the sun. Didn't they send that
yes,
space?
yes, they just launched it here just a few days ago, and it's on its way. So very interesting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
My name is on board that. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Oh
Yep.
my God, that's amazing.
Yep. My
How
name
did
is
that
on.
happen?
Well, way back when, I don't know if it's still on my profile page or not, but I became a Martian way back when they sent the first probes and stuff out, and they put people's names on board, and whatever, they sent them out in space.
Yeah.
And well, they had this kind of the same thing happen with this ordeal, where they send it into the sun, So, yeah, I got on board, and I'm going to be a flash in the pan. It's kind of ironic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh? But yeah, I do that. I always hook up with the crazy stuff like that, just for grins and chuckles. So yeah, my name's on that
That's
rocket.
awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So
Well,
that happened, gosh, way
Yeah.
back when they first planned this, they were doing that. And actually, I think I posted about it, and I sent out a bunch of invites for people to go do that. I don't know how many people actually paid attention to it, but yeah,
yeah,
so pretty cool.
that's cool. So, this is kind of going off left field, but can I ask, did you ever get the Ormus?
Actually, I ordered it, and it takes a while, for her to get it all around and doing whatever and send out the orders. So it is on order,
Okay.
and I will definitely let everybody know when we get it, and we'll 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 do our thing, and I'm going to do it, in front of everybody, and we'll see how it works. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed,
Uh-huh.
but maybe this is
Cool.
part
I'm
of it.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear about that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, and here's the thing, with all this other stuff coming together for me as it is, maybe this is just one of those things that I need to do too. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
maybe this is all part of it. So why not? I'm going to give it a shot. Absolutely. So we'll see.
Cool.
If it gives me better health and longer life, then hey, more power.
Exactly.
I need it.
That's always a good.
I need it.
Always a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I definitely need it.
hope
So
it's a good thing.
we're gonna do a thing on it. But and I read all the reviews on Tony's stuff and different things that people have said about it and whatever, and they swear by it. So I'm game. Why not? And she was an awesome guest. I loved her. Fantastic person.
Oh yeah, I thought so too.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I hope people subscribe to her channel and whatever, because she's matter of fact, she just posted a new one today, a new video. So I've got to check it out, but I'm going to. But yeah.
So Clarence, have you ever gone to any of those like Alien Con things?
Back a long time ago, and it really wasn't. It was one out of Roswell that they had, and it wasn't called what it is now. I forget what the hell the name of it was back then. But it only lasted for like 2 days. It was on a Friday and a Saturday, and I got there late on a Friday. I was truck driving at the time, and I wound up spending the night just outside of Roswell at a really cheesy little truck stop out there. And then I went to it. I took a taxi and I went to the convention thing or whatever the next day.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was
so
pretty
that
cool.
was in Roswell?
It was just outside of Roswell, yeah. I can't think what the hell the name of it was, but a lot of local people, a lot of, not like big name people, but, there was some, matter of fact, Mars, Mr. Mars, of course he died now, he's no longer with us, but he was there the day before, and that's who I wanted to see, and I wound up missing him, so, but, but yeah, there was a couple other people. But, and here's the thing that kind of upsets me about these places like this, and I know it's about the money, they want you to pay to get your picture taken with them, now you got to pay to get their autograph, now you got to pay damn near to just to shake their hand, you know what I'm saying? I just don't agree with all of that, I really don't. So, yeah. It put a bitter taste in my mouth when I got to hearing this and looking at it and doing whatever, and I'm like, I don't think I'll ever go to one of those. Just for that reason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So
I've never been. But
I would rather come down to your area, meet your brother Mike, and those people, and you know what I'm saying? That's the places I want to go to. To me, they're more, and people like Gary Davis and these other ones, to me they have more going for them than the rest of these other guys. And I hate to say it that way, but that's just me. I mean, that's, and they're bringing out the real stuff and they're doing the work and whatever. So,
Yeah, my brother he several this year, a whole lot this year. So, he's been going around. So, and he everywhere he goes, that him and John get a really good, reception for their presentation. So
fantastic.
Yeah,
that's great.
I just wish I could go with them.
Yeah, I'd like to see it on video or something. Too bad you guys couldn't videotape it and put it on a YouTube channel.
Have you seen this video on the internet? There is one on there of him and John.
Really?
On YouTube.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I didn't know that. No, I was looking, but I haven't seen anything. Yeah.
I'll send you a link on that one. Yeah.
Cool. Do that. Yeah. If you don't mind.
They do. There's a presentation they did. Well, they've even got TV show offers at times to do a show on what they know, but it just hasn't gone through yet. So.
Cool. Fantastic. And see, I think that's awesome that happened with them, because, here we are, we've been talking to them on our show and stuff, and all of a sudden, they're becoming mainstream, and I'm like, wow, I knew them guys when they weren't that way, they were real people. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I love it. Yeah, your brother and John are just awesome.
And my brother, he's down to earth.
He is, absolutely.
And his experiences, my brother is a federal police officer. So being that he's a Navajo Ranger, he actually has to do an investigation when something happens.
Yes.
Like if elder may call him and say, hey, my cattle's been mutilated. Why are my cattle being mutilated?
Right.
I mean, he has to go out there and investigate it, you
Yep.
know,
Absolutely.
or we, you know, you'll have an elderly say, oh, we have a Bigfoot sighting. Come and investigate this. And he will have to go and investigate it, you know.
Yeah,
So,
he does something.
yeah.
Yeah, I love his story.
that's-
He's got some awesome stuff. Yeah. Plus,
Him
he's got the
and,
plaster
John-
cast. He's got that plaster cast of Bigfoot, you know, and different things
he
like that.
he actually has 2 plaster casts of Bigfoot feet.
Yeah, ain't
Yeah.
that something?
And
Yeah.
you can even see the detail of the toes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Like the fingerprints. Yeah, like the toe print. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see the toes.
It's
you know.
fantastic.
I mean, yeah, and they're big feet. I've seen them. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I loved having him on the show.
Oh.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get him back
he's,
here so we can find out what he's doing lately, and you know whatever.
Yeah.
No kidding.
He's seen UFOs. He's of course he's talked to lots of people, you know, and they were out one time and they believed they encountered a Bigfoot, but the Bigfoot actually chased them away. It was throwing big, huge boulders at them.
Right.
And and then he's had a lot of paranormal activity happen to him.
Yeah, that money
Yeah,
out of the ear
he's
thing is the
got-
one that got me. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, he has helped people that have had paranormal, you know, because he uses tradition with that to when they encounter these type of entities, you know. So he does it from his heart, you know, and so
Absolutely.
his only concern is to help people, you know, and so yeah, it's a lot of interesting stories from him. So,
That's so cool.
and I'm like opposite of my brother. I'm not interesting, so I love to hear his stories and the things, you know, that he encounters and talks
Right.
about. So
I think it's awesome. I really do. Yeah.
I'm kind of lucky in that aspect. So
I think it's awesome.
lots of interesting stuff. Yeah. So you know, if I hear of another show that they're doing, I'll let you know. Maybe we can post that on the site. And then,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. I definitely will.
Yeah, I should have told you about the one in Denver, but I kind of spaced that out. But yeah, they had 2 shows in Denver, and in one of the shows they presented to MUFON. So yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. That is so cool. I'm
Yeah,
so happy for him. I'm
they
glad
give
it's
a
working
lot
out.
of,
Yeah. I'm totally glad it's working out for him. I think
Yeah.
that's great. Man.
and you know, then they get to talk to a lot of people like Travis.
Right.
They get to talk to people like Stanford Friedman. What's his name? That one guy. Oh my gosh, he's real popular. Not Giorgio, but
David
one of the
Childress.
top guys in the field. Say that again.
David Childress.
Not him. I think they have talked to David Childress, but there was the other guy. Oh my gosh, he wears glasses, kind of long hair, a little not so long, but shoulder length hair. What is his name? Oh my gosh. He's real popular. I can't remember his name. And they talked to him.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture.
So yeah, they've got to in this field. They've got to talk to a lot of you know, people in this field. So
Cool.
yeah, they've talked many times with Clifford Mahooty.
No
Like,
kidding.
I think he's awesome.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is. He's pretty cool. Yes. Absolutely. Not many people know who that is, but I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, he's the Zuni elder
Yep.
that talks about the star people, the ant people. Yeah.
I wonder, you know, I was going to ask Gary Davis, has he ever had contact with him or not? I should message him and ask him about that, just out of curiosity.
I think they were at, if it was Dulce, I'm not sure if it was this year, but I think it might have been last year, but Clifford was there. And, yeah. Clifford's just, to me, is just a very interesting person, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I never met him personally, but I would love to. But just the stuff I've seen and from what my brother says and all this stuff. So.
Well, I know your brother talked about him pretty high regard, so, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Very.
So, any
very
other questions from anybody on the site?
No, not really. They're just kind of listening.
Anybody have a topic you want to talk about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I miss Tim. I wish Tim was on here.
Yeah. Well, that's just it too. Now I don't know. Like I said, if this will take more than one caller at a time or not. I don't know how this works. So.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I hope I'm not hogging it. Does somebody else want to talk? I could.
No, because I haven't. No one else has come in the chat or said anything. So you know. Or anything like that, so we're good. But, to be honest with you, with that being said, we are pushing the 2.5 hour mark right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, can you believe that? I can't believe I've been on this long already. Yeah, we started at 6.
On this side, do you have a limit like you did on the other show?
Actually, with Spreaker right now, I have a 5-hour limit. The only thing is Facebook Live itself has a 4-hour limit. So I'll run out of Facebook time before I run out of Spreaker time, if you know what I'm saying. So, which is okay. I mean, 4 hours is a long deal. And we've done them in the past. Obviously, you know, Omar and myself have done them in the past. Well, we did a 24-hour one that one day, that marathon we did. Wow, yeah, that was a long, but a great, great show, yeah. But we had speaker after speaker after speaker on, and yeah, it was just awesome. But
24 hours.
Well, it wound up being like, I think it was like 12 or 14 hours. I think is what we wound up actually doing, because some of them dropped out or did whatever. But yeah, either way, it was an all day, all night affair.
Is that posted on your site then?
Yes, it is. Yes, they're broke down in, like I said, like in 4-hour increments. And I think there's 3 or 4 of them there that are together. But, yeah, they're back, I want to say November of last year or something like that. November or December, first part of December maybe. Somewhere around there. I'd have to look. I'll be honest, I don't remember the actual dates. I'd have to look it up. But, yeah, awesome show. We had Stephen Strong and Evan in there, a couple others. Just fantastic people. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah. It was an all-day thing, but awesome information. My mom's asking, where are we going with drones? Gosh, you know what? That's a good question, and where haven't they gone with them so far? You know, they've been spying on us for years with them. Now all of a sudden, everybody owns one. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. True. They were first introduced for military use, and now you can buy them out of Walmart, you know.
Now, kids can get them.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not like the drones the military have. They're like, you know, the drones they use are half the size of an aircraft, if you know what I'm saying. But still big, you know. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a good question. Where are we going with drones? Because you know,
I know we're getting to see a lot of interesting videos and footage of stuff, which normally we wouldn't see.
Right.
So that I do like the aspect of it, but you know, I don't think I'd want a drone up in the sky looking down and, you know, me.
Exactly. Well, that's what Mom was asking. You know, what are the real purpose? The real purpose for the drone to begin with was for military warfare. That's what it was about. You could actually fly a drone in, and certain missiles were laser guided. And they would shoot this laser from the drone to the target, and it would, you know, allow them to do that without having to be 100 miles away, So that was what
I heard stories of course, this was in the Middle East, where those people were just complaining because I guess they make a loud noise.
Some of them did.
All they were
Yeah.
hearing was these drones,
Yeah.
Yep,
some of them did.
Drones, not drones.
Drones, yeah.
And of course, they were dropping bombs or however
Some
they,
of them, yeah.
were.
They did arm
Yeah.
some of them, absolutely. They used them to blow up
Yeah.
different places, and absolutely, yeah, bunkers and whatever. So most of them were used for military. That's what they were designed for, and then they got downsized and smaller. Now people are using them to take pictures with and flying them all over the
Yeah.
neighborhoods and spying on your dog and whatever.
Yeah.
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 Like that.
I mean, like I said, I've seen some awesome video from people that have
Yep.
posted from Joy.
Yep.
John.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, yeah, it's interesting what you can see from up there,
Absolutely. I actually thought about getting one myself, but I just haven't had the time or the money or the whatever to monkey around with it, But I can see where it could be a useful tool for what I do, But
yeah, exactly.
when I take the camper out on the road, whatever, I can zoom it up in the air and do a live show, Kind of like Bill Peters does with the Slice, He does a lot of drone footage. So
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, that'd be interesting.
So.
Yeah. To do, I don't know if they'll allow you, but I mean, like say if you went to Chaco Canyon and you could do a drone. I don't know if they allow it, but it'd be.
Yeah, there's still certain places that you can't fly them, and there's certain sizes, of course, you can't use either. I mean, they're, different things. So the laws are changing all the time about them. So it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some of them can get pretty expensive.
So do you think some of the UFO sightings are drones?
This day and age, it very well could be. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've heard that in the past too, where people say, "Yeah, it's just a drone." Well, how the hell can you tell?
And well, especially if it's dark.
Yeah, you can't really tell at nighttime unless you really know what's going on. But yeah. But it wouldn't surprise me any. There'd be a lot of hoaxes with drones at night. I'd be afraid of running into something like a power line or whatever at nighttime. That would be my thing.
Yeah.
I'd get it tangled up in somebody's
Definitely.
backyard or in a tree or something. Yeah. That'd be my luck.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
But yeah, funny stuff.
Yeah. Just technology is advancing, so things like that are more common,
Eyes in the sky. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Crazy stuff. But I can see, where a drone would actually work for like news people and stuff like that. Instead of flying around in a helicopter, they can use a drone now, and cost efficient, whatever,
We're going to be using more drones and more robots for stuff.
Yeah, the robot thing I'm kind of worried about. I don't care for that at all, but, there's some good aspects to certain things, and then other things I wish they would never even bother with, but,
Yeah, well, they're messing with AI now, and that's what scares me.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
When I see that stuff, I said, did you people not watch Terminator?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, this is why Facebook has been so glitchy with people booting them off and putting them in Facebook jail and stuff like that. Is because of the AI they're using, and like we said before, you say certain keywords, or you like a post, or you like too many posts at once, or whatever. It causes this thing to trigger, and then next thing you know, you're put in jail. In Facebook jail.
Yeah.
So you
gotta
be careful.
Their algorithm. If you meet their parameters for that algorithm, then you end up in jail or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. I've been noticing that a little lately.
Mm-hmm.
I keep getting saying that I'm spamming, and I'm like, I'm not spamming. Why are you telling me I'm spamming? I'm not.
Yeah, see, you got to be careful. You can't only post so many pictures per hour or per day or whatever, and certain things like that, and you can only comment so many times. You can only like so many times. You can only, and if you go beyond their boundaries, and I don't even know what their boundaries are, but yeah, if you go beyond that boundary, then it throws a red flag in their system, and bang, there you are. So.
Oh, it's possible that I do that.
Yeah, it all depends. Yeah. So if you're posting a lot or commenting a lot, stuff like that, then yeah, you're probably susceptible,
Yeah.
And then it takes forever. Yeah, then it takes forever to get a real person to look at your problem and say, yeah, okay, we're sorry.
Oh yeah.
Good luck
Definitely.
with that. Yeah.
Did you encounter a lot of that with your show?
So far, knock on wood, I'm about the only one that Facebook hasn't monkeyed with. Seriously.
Oh, really?
Yep, I haven't had one bit of problem as far as that goes. But
that's good.
I will mention that I do belong to part of Facebook's team as far as admin moderator group, They pulled me in as a study kind of thing or whatever, and we leave comments and talk about different things that we like to see Facebook doing and blah blah blah, and how things are running and stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's and I was really shocked when they asked me if I'd join up, and the only reason why is because I'm an admin of the Ancient Alien Theory, and I have my own page, and this and that, and so I said, sure.
And you've got 95,000 members now, so yeah, I mean, I can see.
Well, it's not just my group. I mean, I just have to be part of it, and it's an awesome group, I just got selected. I don't know how it happened or why, but yeah, crazy. But that the Ancient Alien Theory group, with Kimberly and Yvette and Matt, David, Mabel, Maben, and all them guys, and Jamo. I mean, there's just tons and tons, and Rebecca, great admin, great moderators. Bill Peters is one.
Have you ever has Matthew ever been on your show?
Oh yes, yep, he sure has.
Okay.
Yep.
Really?
A couple of times.
I'd like to hear him.
Yep, had him. Matter of fact, I'd had his brother on a couple of times, which I haven't heard him in a very, very long time. The last show,
I'm trying to think. Is that how you say his name, Jamel?
Jamel? No. Matt is the only one, I think, out of all of them that's ever been on my show, and Bill Peters. But Bill, me and Bill corroborated on other shows. You know what I'm saying? So. Because he had the slice, and then I have this one, so we kind of went back and forth on each other's shows.
Does he still have that show?
Well, as far as I know, yes. I just haven't seen anything new with it lately, so I don't know. We're gonna have to talk to him and see what he's doing. But need to get an update on him and see what's going on there. He had some pretty good stuff, He was supposed to go check out a site that he found up in his neighborhood, up in his neck of the woods, that he was going to check out. It very well may be a man-made structure,
Oh, really?
Yeah. And wow. I don't know if he's working on that or not, or what the deal is, but it'd be nice to get an update. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff.
Interesting.
Something that he found.
Okay.
So.
Well, I enjoyed talking with you, Clarence.
Oh, I enjoyed having you. Thank you very much for calling in. At least we know it works, and it sounds great. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if it works.
I hope.
Works for more than one, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's okay.
That would be interesting. It's fun when you get more than one.
Exactly. Daniel Hutt. He says, I saw what I thought was a light aircraft fly low over the city. It was a very clear winter's night, stars out, no cloud. I became interested in the aircraft, that it was traveling very slowly and produced, and I can't read the rest of it. Oh, I'd have to read it over here. Produced zero sound. All of a sudden, it just disappeared. Huh. Wow.
You know, when I wish it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
It was like him, what he saw. And he saw it in the city. So you know darn well that there were other
Oh, absolutely.
people who saw.
Sure.
So to me, it'd be interesting to get collaboration where you get many people who see the same thing, you know.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. And that's what I was saying.
It's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, and you know, and that's the thing that gets you about things like this because, well, take the Arizona lights for instance. Prime example, the Phoenix lights. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Phoenix lights. You had all these eyewitnesses that came forth, plus you had cops. You know, and then again, of course, the governor, of course, who believed him.
I even saw that, Clarence. I mean, I was watching the TV when it was starting to happen, and people were like, "What is that?" I remember that.
There you go. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So I mean, you got all of these people statewide that seen this thing and whatever, but yet all these other people are still skeptical, and it's like, are you kidding me? How can you not? You know. Yeah.
No, it was not flares. It wasn't flares.
Well, the ones were there. Well, and that's another bad thing about that whole story. There was two sets of different lights going on at that time, and the one set.
People saw that thing way in another Flagstaff before they even saw it in Phoenix.
Right.
You know.
Right, and that would be the craft itself that you're talking about. Yes, and that is correct. You're absolutely right. But there were another set of lights that they seen at the stadium. You remember the stadium deal? And they seen the lights dropping down over the mountainside and whatever. Those were military flares. That was definitely military flares. And people get that story confused with both of those because they happened on the same night. And that's not the case. There are two different sets of lights on the same night.
The thing that I saw, there was nothing dropping. And what that thing appeared, the lights were coming on until it formed that formation.
Mm-hmm.
They all started just coming on one after the other. They weren't dropping. And, you know, whatever that was must have been humongous.
Oh, it was. Yeah. I forget the dimensions of it, but it was like 2 or 3 miles wide or something like that. I forget now what it was. It was phenomenal big. Yeah. Phenomenally big. But it flew from city to city, over town, over city, and people were catching it all the way.
Yeah.
You know, and then they got it on radar, and they did the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's all been verified. You know, so how do you not? You know.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
You want disclosure? There you go. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then the governor did what he did, and it kind of blew the whole thing right out of the water. And after that, it deflated. You know what I'm saying?
When you have a government official come forward and make
joke of it, yeah, exactly.
When
you know.
It was a major sighting, and he even said this later.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, too late now, buddy. You know. He comes out and says, "Well, I actually seen it myself. Who cares? You know. Now ain't the time to do that. You had your chance. You know. Yeah.
Exactly.
It pissed me right off when he did that. I'm sorry, but you know. Not cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not cool. But that just goes to show you how it works, you know, and this is what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So you had a good thing, you could have said something, and he didn't do it, he laughed about it, and then he comes out later and says, well, it was real, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, well, too late, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Nobody's going to believe you. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Sad.
What would be interesting, though, is to be able to collect stories from people, you know, people to, you know, write their, everybody has a computer today, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So write your stories and maybe send them into you, and you collect them
Yes,
for
absolutely.
maybe a book.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, maybe
yeah. We can
because
do
I
that.
think
Oh, did we lose you? Oh, we're squawking. You have a headset plugged into that? Is that what you got going? I'm wondering.
what's that?
Do you have a headset plugged into your phone?
I don't have good service where I'm at.
Oh, okay,
So.
okay. But no, yeah, you're right. If people want to write up their story and send it to me, I'd be more than happy to take it. You know, and matter of fact, you don't even have to put your real name on it if you don't want to or whatever. It'd be nice if you could though, or whatever. But you know,
Yeah, I'll write mine up and I'll send it in.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That'd be great. But send it to my email. That's closerencounters.info@gmail.com, and in the subject line just put my story or whatever, and send it to me. And
Awesome.
you know,
Awesome.
and I'll get back with you on it, and we can talk about it, discuss it if you would like to talk about it on the show or whatever, or you know, if you want me to post it on my webpage or whatever, I'll do that too. You know, anything like that. You know, stories, pictures, videos, whatever you guys got, send it to me.
Pictures, videos, yeah.
Absolutely.
I have a video.
Send it along.
But it's on my old iPhone, and I don't know if I can get it off my old iPhone, so. But I had a video of what I saw, so.
Cool. Yeah.
But I'll have to see if I can't figure out how to get it off the phone.
Give it to a kid. They'll figure it out for you.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I do. Here, figure this out, will you? Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Well, any other questions from anybody? No?
Oh, Sharon was talking. Says, 14, talking about no, too bad aliens don't take house dogs. Smiley face. Funny. Age 12, 84 years.
Yeah, that would be so cool, Clarence, if you get stories and then have.
Absolutely, yeah. And I could put them all together in a portfolio or do whatever, and you know, absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Cool. Sometime soon, and he's busy, but maybe he can take some time and get on with us. So.
Sure. That'd be awesome.
Well, as I said, I always enjoy it, Clarence, and this was kind of interesting.
Yeah, thank you very much for calling in. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm glad we got to check things out and whatever, and you know, and I will be downloading it. This will be downloaded on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and it will be downloaded, of course, you know, and I'll put it on my Facebook page and whatnot. So, you know, not only the live recording of Facebook, but we'll do the Spreaker recording also. You know, it will be on YouTube. So you can check them all out, archive it and whatever. So, and that goes instantaneously. Matter of fact, as soon as this show ends, it goes right to YouTube. I have no choice. It's on
really?
there. Yeah, it's on there that quick. And it's on iTunes and Apple and wherever, and Podbean, you know, whatever. It's everywhere. So it's just...
on the YouTube, where does the shows go on YouTube?
What's that?
I said, where do the shows go on YouTube?
Oh, on the Closer Encounter. Yeah, just look for Closer Encounters on YouTube, and you'll find my page there. Very easy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, you know, and every time something new goes on there, you'll get notified that, you know, that I posted something new or whatever. And but all our past shows, every one of our shows are on there pretty much. So pretty cool. Same thing with my webpage. Cool. I put them all on the webpage, and, you know, we're everywhere. Get the word out.
Okay. Well, that'll be interesting. Everybody send in your stories so
there you go.
Can collaborate.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That'll be awesome. Yeah. from all of our 95,000 members.
No kidding, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, Clarence. Well, I'm going to take it.
Alrighty, Lee. Thank you very much again for calling in. It's great hearing from you. Great hearing from you. I'm glad we could connect again. You know, it's fantastic. I miss everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Our talks that we used to have, those were awesome too. So.
I got to show this on live feed while we're talking. I want to show this. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. This is my notepad. And it don't have people. It just has the area code with all their names and stuff next to them. These are all the people that I've had on this show that have been, have been guests over and over and over again. And it's just amazing, So yeah, I miss these people and I want these people back, So hopefully we'll get them back, slow but surely. But,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. You hear that, Tim?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All these people. So pretty awesome.
Okay. All right, then. I'm going to say good night, then. Night, everybody, and it's good talking to you again, Clarence.
Yes, you too, Lee. Thank you very much. You have an awesome night now.
Okay, well, right. You too. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Okay, fantastic. That was Lee Stacy, as you all know. Fantastic. Her brother, like I said, he's a federal investigator, on the res and does some awesome work. And, Lee's always been a long-time member and a fan of us. And, fantastic people. Love her to death. So, awesome. Alrighty, well, with that being said, look at this. We're pushing 3 hours now all of a sudden. So I think we're going to call her a night. We'll get back with you again here shortly and whatever. But please, though, those who came in late in the show and stuff, please, by all means, go back and listen to the show, watch the live stream, and you'll see what I was talking about earlier in the show and whatnot, and you'll get an understanding. But like I said, the ascension's happening. If you're starting to see numbers and things, pay attention, because something's trying to give you a message, and this is the whole key to this. So, I had to change my outlook on things, and it like I said, I finally got another piece of the puzzle that I can put together now. So that's pretty awesome. Good stuff. So with that, I want to wish everybody a great evening. I'm glad everybody showed up, I will be back. I got 4 midnights to do at work, so probably my next show will be, well, let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday is Leonard O'Neill's show, and Orion Rising. That's every Wednesday night, so you guys keep that in mind. That's also here on Spreaker. And I'll probably do mine again on Thursday, next Thursday. So a week from tonight, we'll do another show. So we'll keep that in mind. Unless something else comes up, or whatever, maybe during the daytime or something, or whatever, I'll pop in or something. But most likely Thursday night will be our next show. So keep that in mind, and I'll keep you posted on what's going on and da-da-da. So we'll do it that way. So in the meantime, thank you all very much for showing up. Glad you were here. Again, Lee, thank you for calling in. And we know that all works, so that's pretty cool. In the meantime, I wish you all best of everything. And please, keep your eyes to the skies. Thank you all. I want to thank you all for listening to Closer Encounters. Please remember to like, follow, and share. And until we meet again, keep your eyes to the skies. Thank you.